Alright folks, Vitek here from Wani with us today. We have one and only, the man himself, Mr. Howard Jones of Light the Torch. How are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good.
I want to start by asking you that, it's been a struggle personally for you with you lost your brother, and obviously as a band, a new start with a new name, and obviously multiple things happening in parallel. How's the feeling in the camp right now?
Very good. Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of hearing about it now that's one thing. We've had plenty of time to assimilate everything that's happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all the past now.
All right.
And that's why there's been such a long gap between like the last thing we did and now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're finally past everything, so we're great.
Awesome. That's really good. And obviously this is something that's happened in the past, but acted as a catalyst that brought in that inspiration in you guys, that hunger in you guys to write such a great album like Revival. I've been listening to it from past couple of days, and every time I listen to it, there's the sense of a satisfaction as a music fan that all my requirements, all my needs are fulfilled, and I'm sure it's going to be more or less a similar vibe coming in from all your fans who have been waiting for this album for like years now.
Well, I hope so. That's all I can ask for. We went through a lot and then just felt the need to write and put out something that was different. That's why this isn't like a continuation of That We Know, because unfortunately we had to put a bullet in it. Mm-hmm. It's dead. We can't use the name anymore. The trademark's gone. Mm-hmm. We can't sell T-shirts with that name anymore. It's done, and that was unfortunate. And so that's why there was so much emotion in that album. Mm-hmm. And so, getting all of that out, it definitely helped.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. I want to start asking about the song "The Safety of Disbelief." Or even "Virus" for that matter, which is a little different than what I hear from Howard Jones or even from Francesco, whom I've been following for years now. I feel that this album is more like something where you guys just didn't think about where to start or where to end. It just happened to come out naturally with all of you guys pitching in your ideas, and here is the output, which doesn't sound like what you've done in the past, but sounds something refreshing with like tons and tons of metal music coming up every year, every month.
I mean, that was kind of the point. That was just to write just a satisfying album. Mm-hmm. And to write it on our own terms. And once we started, it was like Fred and I, for some reason, just really started clicking. Mm-hmm. And we just ran with it. I mean, like, no joke, we wrote and then recorded that album without the record label knowing that we did. Mm-hmm. We had sent them a demo of like one or two songs, but then we dumped the name, and so we were just kind of floating. So no one knew what was going on. We didn't know what was going on. We just knew we had to write. So we did, and they did not find out that we were in the studio until our final day in the studio. Mm-hmm. And so we're not stopping now, and we had no contract yet either. It's just, we wrote this on our own. We got everything together. We did this on our own.
Awesome, man. That's really great, because when you don't have a backing, you have complete freedom to write what you want, and I hear that on songs like Die Alone or even Calm Before the Storm. One thing which I would like to point out is the memorable factor that is there in the hooks the catchy rhythms of the album, which are present on the album, that kind of tickle your mind every time I listen to it. And I believe, was that sort of a sort of a goal to write more of a catchy with a lot of hooks and a lot of memorable factor on each and every song?
Well, once we started writing the songs, like, okay, this music seems to have room for, big choruses, and so we just kind of kept going with it. They just kind of turned into that. Mm-hmm. I literally could not say that'll happen on the next album. I have no clue, because I mean, things really did change from, like, the last that we know album to this. I mean, it's a different band, different time. We're just writing what we're feeling. I like that I can look back and see that all the different stuff I've done, it truly does sound different.
True. I would totally agree with that. What is the let's say, the whole idea behind Light the Torch, having this as a band name? Like, what was the background related to this, and how did you guys kind of figure out that this is it, that's going to represent us?
We wrote the album, recorded it, all that stuff. We didn't even have the band name. And nice. So then we had to send the album to Monty. We're like, we need a name. So I wrote some down, and that's the one that we chose. And if you want some symbolism, we did kind of come out of the dark, because we literally were just kind of like in purgatory for a while. We didn't have an identity.
Right.
There you go. It seemed to work, and it sounds a lot like the opposite of what we just were. So there you go.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Again, the Francesco brings that sense of melody in his songwriting, and obviously, when you sing, I mean, time stops, man. I don't know. I mean, it's always been like, your vocals have been very inspiration for a lot of people, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. There are thousands and thousands out there who are followers of Howard Jones. But I want to ask you this question. What was your mindset on this album primarily? More about writing the lyrics, and obviously what has happened in the past is done, but what was it, something that ignited, that sparked, that this is it, this is what I'm going to write about, and this is what I'm going to explore?
I don't know. To be perfectly honest, it's like, this is actually one of the better interviews I've had. It's like people have been struggling with asking me questions. It's very strange. But I don't know. I would say if anything was a catalyst, there are two things that I did differently on this album. One, the whole album I wrote outdoors. I was either walking or hiking or running. That's how I wrote the whole album.
Nice.
And number two, recording it. This is the first time in the whole time I've ever recorded with bands that everyone in the band was in the studio when I recorded. It's usually just me and the producer. That's it. Nope, this time, because of everything that happened, everyone was there.
Nice.
The whole time. So we had decided, it was like, okay, start to finish, we're all in. And because of everything that happened, because of that, it's like we're now just friends who happen to work together in a band.
Right.
Instead of like band members who became good friends. It's a whole different story after everything we went through.
Cool, man. That's really great. And you have a new band member now. Obviously, I've seen you guys with the previous drummer, and you guys are we're very tight, very precise every time I saw you guys. But with Ryan, obviously continuing, to churn out some killer bass riffs. But I want to ask about, what was the role this time when it came to Mike, and what was it that he brought to the table, which let's say maybe you or Francesco never thought about it, or maybe it just came out as a surprise, and that caught your attention, that wow, this is something we should have tried long ago.
No, the main thing was that we had spoken with him before, because he was going to possibly fill in for a tour, but his schedule didn't work out.
Right.
And so we kept in touch, and over, I think, the course of a year, he'd send us a video of every song. He's been playing drums to every song.
Nice.
And so that right there just kind of sealed it for us. We're like, all right, let's send him music to a couple of new songs and see what he thinks. See how he plays. Send it to him. We got back what we wanted. That was case closed.
Perfect, man.
There we go.
That sounds like things really the stars aligned and everything worked fine, and here you have Mike is belting out, man. He is awesome. He holds the entire rhythm, and obviously Ryan, they both sound tight, and it really makes me feel good whenever I keep listening to this album. I want to also put some light on the touring side, because I have always felt that a band like Light the Torch should get more time on stage, man. It was difficult for me to see you guys perform for only 25 minutes. I felt you were right there. You can play an hour, 1 hour slot and still leave people hungry for more. I want to know, when is the plan to take the band and play more shows and play more for an hour instead of just half an hour?
Well, that's all getting mapped out for us right now.
Nice.
I would say as far as touring, yeah, I would say we should have this interview in maybe a week or two. Maybe I'll know a little more for it. But the plan is a lot of touring.
Good, man. I really want that to happen, because I'm sure there are people out there who need to listen to you guys, and that would really be great. I wanted to ask about, like you said, you buried everything and started from scratch. I'm sure with how the metal scene is, a new band that gets formed struggles a lot to keep up the momentum, and so many bands are formed, but you guys have a great history behind you, and obviously you're not something which you're not new in the metal scene. You've been there for more than a decade now. I wanted to ask, were there any sort of a fear to see what's going to happen, or was it like, whatever happens, let's just give it a shot?
Well, and so we had a lot of time to deal with this. This wasn't something that happened overnight or happened lightly. We did 2 albums, as Devil 2014, 2015. Mm-hmm. But then here we are, 2018, and there's finally something out. So we sat with this for a long time. We wanted to keep the name. We went through just about everything you could think of to try and resolve it, and everything from like being peaceful to paying to paying money, to attorneys being involved. It was, and so we had to let it go. But it's just, here's what it is.
True.
I mean, once you make the decision, you just gotta do it and move forward. I try not to think too hard about that stuff, because that's what'll weigh you down. It's easy to just move forward and sit and hesitate.
Right. Totally get that. Well, that's great, man. I'm glad you guys are still kicking out, and I'm gonna wait for the tour. But if I had to ask you to describe the sound of Revival in just a sentence, what would you say?
Wow, in just a sentence. Sounds like a really easy album to listen to.
it's pretty easy to digest, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we tried to make a very fun album to listen to. I think you can from start to finish.
Absolutely, man. Totally agree with that. Howard, good luck with the release, man. I hope this album reaches to the masses, and again, like you said, worldwide touring. I'll keep an eye on that. And once again, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
No, my pleasure, man. Thanks a lot.
Take care of yourself. Bye bye.
Bye.